Hi everybody, it's Kat from How to Draw Cool Stuff. Today I'm going to show you how to draw an autumn tree using paint, oil pastels, and we're going to put it in a scene with a fence and a little tire swing. It's going to be very cute. I've done sponge painting in the past and this is very similar, but let's just get started. Starting with my brown oil pastel. I would probably do this in pencil first if it were my first time. But we're going to go ahead and draw ourselves a little tree. Have some branches coming off. Remember those little V's. Draw it somewhat lightly at first. Then you can get a little bit heavier. We want to make sure that we have light coming from one side of our tree. So we can go over the whole thing with a light coat of brown to start, because the tree that we're going to be drawing is a brown tree. But if you have a light source, generally it would come from above or the left or the right, depending on the time of day. I'm not even drawing this whole tree. I'm going to end it right there. Maybe a couple little things, a couple little V's right there. With my lighter color, I'm choosing a side where the light is coming from. I'm going to choose the left, so the light will be coming from this way. So everything that is on that side is going to be a little bit lighter. So I'll take my yellow, and every branch that falls on that side will have that little bit of yellow for reflected light. Reflected light is light that bounces off the surface of the ground that it's on, or sometimes it even wraps around the tree. I'll put a little bit on the tops here as well. Then maybe I'll go in with a slightly darker color. This is an orange, and it's not really even making too much of a difference, is it? With the shading, a little bit. And then I'll go back in and I'll just intensify my brown. Just to look like it's got a little bit of shadow, a little bit of highlight, to give it a look of realism. I'm pressing somewhat hard so I can cover up all of the paper spots. A little bit of paper shows through, and you can easily blend using your yellow or another color if you want as well. That can help blend out some of those spots. Alright, so we've got our color down. I might want to intensify my shadow side with a little bit of purple. So on the dark side, and this is barely visible, but just enough to give it a little bit of darkness. Here's where the reflected light comes in too. If you wanted to add a tiny little sliver next to this purple of yellow, just to indicate some reflected light. I'm having a hard time saying that today. Coming around the edge, wrapping around, showing that it's a cylindrical object. It can give it an extra little punch. Alright, so next, now we're going to add our color. I'm not even going to have any water. I'm not going to mix. I'll mix my paints directly on the paper. I'm not going to clean this brush at all. No need. I'm going to start off with a little bit of red. I'm just going to, in a dotting motion, very similar to sponge painting. It's a good idea to not have falling leaves, because that can turn into a big mess if you have any falling leaves. Some kids who are drawing like to end up making it look like it's snowing and it ends up being a bit much. So get in there, go on top of your artwork, that's fine. A little bit on the ground. Next, a little bit of orange. Straighten that out for you. My orange isn't doing too much when it's got this red. There we go. Just just need a little bit more on my brush to make it seem more intense. An artist friend of mine, Jeff, taught me about this method, this lesson, which is really cool. I loved it, which is why I'm trying to replicate it. He puts a little bit of white in with his paint, so he'll mix a little bit of white in with the orange before he even uses it, especially when it's on colored paper, to give it that extra brightness. But that's a step that I'm skipping here. I'm going to jump right in with some yellow. Look at that, it's a pop. Look at that pop. And it's just a little scoop on the tip of my brush, and I'm dabbing. Not the dance. No, that's not a dance, a movement. Forgive me, I'm old. Anyway, dot, 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 dot. Fill in all those spaces. Don't forget the ground. And you can see it goes pretty quickly. I would probably break down this lesson into drawing a tree, one class, coloring it in, the next class, and then adding the paint, the next class. So, pretty cute. I'm liking it. I had a little white on my palette here, but I'm not even going to use it. Let's make one side a little bit lighter. Perhaps the side where my sun is coming from. But I don't know, I'm kind of happy with it. I'm going to stop there. Next, go ahead and make yourself a fence. With some glue, you can put down your pickets of your fence. Students can have the option of going behind the tree or in front of the tree. I would definitely wait until the paint is dry before doing this step. But for the purpose of me doing this video, I am not waiting. And my fence is going to go behind my tree. So I would definitely want to give that a snip. Make it look like it's going behind. Normally I would use glue, but right now I'm just laying it down. Got a little paint on it, but that's okay. Cross. Let's see. Cross. You get the idea. Then, if you wanted to add a little something, perhaps a tire swing, you could cut out some paper, and I'm going to pull this off camera for a second just to give it a little bit of a shadow on one side. Make it look like it's a three-dimensional O. So I've got a little bit there, and then maybe a little on the other side. Take your time and do this. I'm being a little bit sloppy and rushing, so I know you can't see what I'm doing. But a little bit of a tire swing. You can throw it down in the front, and then definitely when it's dry, make a nice little straight line. A lot of students like to do the line going off to the side like it's swinging, which looks a little weird. So I definitely prefer the straight line coming from it. I'm not going to draw on that paint because it's not going to work anyway. Later when it's dry, I'll get it. But cool, right? Super fast, really cute, gorgeous autumn tree. Talks about color mixing, using oil pastels and paint. So I would call this a mixed media project since it's using oil, pastels, paint, cut paper, glue. But it's just gorgeous. I love it. So thanks for the inspiration, Jeff. I will see you for more cool stuff on how to draw cool stuff. Thanks for watching.